for you. Exercise, dieting, and walking, a powerful plan. This will change your life forever, right until the end. Keto and fasting, a path to embrace, healing mind, body, and spirit, finding your true place. Used to be stuck, but now I'm door dashing with glee, walking a lot of miles, living my best life. Don't let your age hold you down, 'cause age is just a number. Every single day, exercise, dieting, and walking, a powerful blend. This will change your life forever, right until the end. Keto and fasting, a path to embrace, healing mind, body, and spirit, finding your true place. Loving yourself first, that's where it all starts. Healing the whole selves from the inside out. No more doubts, no more fears, no more living in doubt. So come on over, join my YouTube family. Let's win together, me and you. At my weight loss journey by Keto Granny, we will soar, achieve your goals and so much
Hello, hello, welcome into my channel, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you in. Welcome to my weight loss journey by Keto Granny. This is the third of a series that I have going, y'all, where I'm talking to YouTube creators or people who have channels and they are on weight loss journeys or health journeys to get healthier. I want to show how we all have different tools that we can use. And by using these different tools, we can all have the same results. Also, I'm looking for myself and asking questions as I'm thinking about starting to use the GLP-1. Today, I have a very, very special guest that I'm very excited about. Her name is Lori Eisman. I hope I'm saying that right. And her channel is GLP-1 in Review. GLP-1 in Review, you all. Make sure that you check out her channel. I'm going to leave that information below and make sure that you go by and visit. I'm going to go ahead and bring Lori on because she's already in the back. Hi, Lori. How are you doing?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Go ahead.
It's GLP-1 Journey in Review.
GLP-1 Journey in Review. Okay. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about you, about your channel. Absolutely. And how you got started.
Okay, I'm 67. I'm going to be 68 soon. I started my weight loss journey on compounded tirzepatide in late December of 2023. I've lost 62 pounds and I've been on maintenance since January. I fairly well have the maintenance figured out, still trying to tweak some stuff out because as of now, I'm still going to stay on the medication.
Oh, okay. What made you decide to do, like the injections?
Well, I've been overweight and sometimes obese since my late 20s, and yo-yoed around with a lot of other diets. And I do CT scans for a living, and I had to actually have a CAT scan of my chest because I had a bad cough. And I looked, I'm like, is that some calcium in my coronary arteries over there?
Oh
So I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
maybe it's time to start really getting serious and do something. And I've
right.
tried many diets before. And at first, I was just going to try the GLP-1 medication to jumpstart a diet because I
Uh-huh.
didn't really know too much about them. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I I thought the cost was going to be about $1,200 a month, which is what I heard, and I
Right.
didn't know anything about compounding or anything like that. And as I learned a little bit about it, I'm like, well, I could take that, $1,200 and get like 3 or 4 months supply and see how it goes. And it was working so well. And considering it was basically about $270 a month, I'm like, as long as I could afford this, why not just continue? Because it's working great.
Right. Okay, so your insurance didn't cover it, I guess.
Uh,
That's kind
I'm
of what I'm afraid of.
I'm on Medicare, so Medicare, um, they're about to possibly have an experimental program which will cover it, but that won't probably take effect for another year and a half or so if it actually comes around. Um, I know my insurance that I have through work covers it, but if I
Hmm.
was going to pay for that insurance along with my Medicare, I might as well just pay for the compounding because it would be the same cost.
Ah, okay. So the compound, it sounds like it's cheaper than the
It's
brand.
cheaper, and they were allowed to make it while there was a shortage,
Uh-huh.
and it's pretty much the exact same thing. A lot of people shy away from it
Hmm.
because technically it's not FDA approved, although the pharmacies that make it are, state inspected and they have to be approved and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, as long as you do your homework and get one of the bigger pharmacies that do it, everything should be fine.
Ah, okay. What does it mean when it says compound? To me, compound means like a mixture of maybe two things, but what does it
Well,
mean?
now it is. Originally, because of the shortage, they didn't have to mix it with anything.
Uh-huh.
And basically, when there's a shortage, they're allowed to make an exact duplicate as long as it's in shortage. Both Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk cleared it out of shortage recently. So now they're taking that exact replicated compound material and they're adding like B6 or B12 to it to say it's customized for people.
Okay, okay. That's what they mean when they say compound. Um, you said when you first started off, you kind of like me. You started off as like to boost you. You said
Right.
on a diet, and you just decided to continue using it because it
It
works.
was working great. I
Uh-huh.
mean, you have to do the work and stuff, but it was like,
Mhm.
I didn't even know what food noise was until it was gone with this medication. And I was like,
Okay.
well, this is how regular people think. You're not constantly thinking like, oh, I know this isn't in the refrigerator. Oh, I know I have those cookies in the cupboard. Oh, what am I going to make for lunch? Oh, what am I going to have for dinner? Well, how about the whole week's menu? What am I going to have? Oh my God. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
constant chatter. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I was talking about that, and you came on and kind of told
Yeah.
me what the food noise was. With me doing keto, I said, okay, so I kind of associate that when I'm hungry. They call it hangry when you're real
Hmm.
hangry and you're constantly thinking about what you're going to eat for your next meal and different stuff like
Right.
that. So the medication helps you more or less stop thinking about food all the time.
It does that. It does suppress your appetite a bit
Okay.
and the slower digestion. I mean, you just physically, I mean, you can overeat it, but I mean, you could get sick if you do. So you want smaller portions because the digestion is slower. And, there's a signal to your brain that says, hey, enough. Like I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I was always taught eat everything on your plate. There's starving kids in China. So it's like
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah,
grew up
that's
with
what.
that mentality, and it's
Right.
like now I don't have a problem if I leave stuff on my plate, and I'm taking smaller portions on my plate,
Right.
and that's probably due to the medication.
Okay. Okay. When it slows down your digestion, that means that your food is going through your intestines slowly and stuff like that.
Right.
I've heard one lady, she says that she feels like hers just kind of gets stuck there sometimes.
There is a very, very slight chance of, it, slowing down your digestion to, where it's a medical problem, but
Hmm.
it's very, very slight. And like if you're having problems, uh, constipation or, stomach aches or things like that, and you can't resolve it, by yourself or, uh, remedies that you have after a few days, always advise to see your physician because they either might have some tricks or you do need to get, things checked out. And like I said, it's very rare. I mean, rare stuff can happen if you take aspirin.
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
they just have to point out these things, and there's a possibility of pancreatitis, extremely rare, but you have that with alcohol, you have that with a lot of medications.
Okay.
As long as you're
Pancreatitis.
monitored and you're in touch with your healthcare provider,
Mhm.
and when things go wrong and, support groups, which will also, again, we're not doctors or anything, but, if I read a post, somebody like, I haven't had a bowel movement in 6 days, I'm like, "Hey, don't you think it's time to contact your physician?" Yeah.
Yeah, 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 for real. Someone did tell me that they were taking GLP-1s, and she told me that if I decided to do it, to have something available for constipation already. And then I do remember now my nutritionist did tell me when he was talking to me about the constipation, he said for me to have some Metamucil available. He did mention
Right.
Metamucil for me to have.
Yeah, part of the problem is, because it decreases your appetite, it suppresses it so well,
Mhm.
is you don't eat as much. So you really have to concentrate on getting your, fiber and that's, even your water, because again, with suppressing the appetite, you don't realize it also does suppress your desire to drink water a little bit. So, you really kind of have to concentrate on that a little.
Okay, okay. Is there a certain amount of water like you have to drink, like say with keto, drink this much water per day, or just drink as much water as you can, basically?
Just a normal amount, your body will tell you. I mean, you don't want to drink too much and
Right, right. Okay, okay. Let's see. Can you describe some of the changes that you noticed as far as your hunger, energy, or your mindset when you first started using the medication? Changes in your body.
absolutely, like I said, the appetite suppressant was, one of the biggest things is because, like, and I know when I've started diets in the past, one of my biggest fears is like, oh my God, am I going to be stuck eating, this 1 pound of raw broccoli and cauliflower and that's all I'm going to eat?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
basically food is off limits. Yes, you should eat a smarter diet. And, again, with the, having the Metamucil and all that kind of stuff around. If you track a little, at least keep in mind what you're eating when you first start. A
Mhm.
lot of these side effects could be because of the food that you're eating, because if you eat a fatty meal, when you first take your medication, yeah, you could be getting heartburn. Yeah, you could be getting diarrhea, and so
Okay, and see, and that's what
it,
I'm used to eating is a fatty meal. So that's what I'm trying to find out because keto leans more toward eating the
right.
fatty type meals. And
And they encourage you to have fat, but healthy fat.
right, 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 the healthy fats. So yeah, so I would be eating the healthy fats, but I had wondered about that. Would that cause some heartburn just because it would be a fat?
Everybody's different, like I said, and usually the side effects are very manageable. I always suggest, which most people have around anyhow, have something for, constipation, diarrhea, like Tums or something like that in case you do get some heartburn. And pretty much that's it. It's like anything else, very rarely people feel nausea and vomiting. And
Mm-hmm.
if you do, again, maybe some Pepto-Bismol or something. If that doesn't work, your doctor could actually prescribe a medication for it, but it's very rare. And again, keep a note of what you're eating before you feel that, because you may be able to, eliminate it by the foods that you eat.
Okay, just from your notes of what you ate, going
Right.
back and looking at that. Okay, that makes
Absolutely.
sense. That's kind of how I do with keto. Sometimes have foods down, and then if I notice something goes out of whack, I can go back and
Hmm.
look at it.
Right.
Kind
Because I eat pretty much the way keto is,
huh?
uh,
Okay.
not dirty keto, but regular
Yeah,
keto,
yeah, the clean keto, right? Yeah,
the
me,
clean keto.
I'm all over. I do the clean, the dirty, the
Yeah.
lazy.
Now, once in a while, because like today, I had bacon with breakfast. Okay,
Uh-huh.
it was chicken bacon, so it was a little bit
Okay.
better. But it's like,
Okay. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
again, because you don't want any food to be off limit, because this is a lifestyle change.
Right.
If
Right.
you could say you can never, and even regular bacon, I've had it in restaurants. It's like if you're going to tell me that that's off limits forever, that's going to be a big negative towards
Yeah.
this lifestyle.
Right. Right.
Moderation is the key to everything.
Right. Right. That's what I was just gonna say. And then so that makes sense. It's not something that once you start taking that injection that you have to start eating a certain type of way. Now I was under the impression at first that if I started taking the injection, I wouldn't be able to eat keto lifestyle anymore, and I would have to
Not true.
concentrate on eating just a lot of protein all the time because I see a lot of people doing this on the YouTube channels. What do you
Well,
say to that?
Well, I mean, you should concentrate on protein. And when I was on keto, I did have a lot of protein because,
Mhm.
especially as we get older, we do lose muscle naturally.
Right,
And, you then with any rapid weight loss or actually any weight loss, you're going to lose a little bit in muscle. So the protein helps you lose less muscle.
right. Okay.
So-
And then I guess combining that with exercise also helps.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, let's see. I had some questions. So now, how did you choose between the medication you were going to use, like Wegovy, Ozempic, Mounjaro? How did you know which one to use?
Well, I had a telehealth visit online, and they told me my choices. They basically told me that the tirzepatide would probably work better, and if you look at the statistics, it does work a little bit better. It does tend to have a little bit less side effects.
Hmm.
The downside is it was like $40 a month more, and I figured, well, why not go with the best? And like I was a little worried about side effects myself because it's something new, and I know plenty of people on Wegovy that haven't had side effects, and I know plenty of people that have. So, everybody's a little bit different. And the amount that I had to lose, like if I had probably half, I may have gone the less expensive route. You know,
Okay, and you said you lost, is it six? How many pounds?
62, 62.
62 pounds. Okay, that's good. And how long, what was your average weight loss per month, you would say?
Well, I did it over like a year and 2 months.
Okay,
So in the average, about a pound a month. I mean, a pound a
okay.
week.
Pound a week. Okay, all right. That's what my doctor, he says he feels like it would be best for me to aim for 1 to 2 pounds a week as
Right,
far
and
as for
and
my.
that's the average on the GLP-1s. I know plenty of people that have lost, uh, a good chunk of weight, and then, as you get a little closer to your goal or you just have, 50, 60 pounds left, have added the GLP-1 medication just to give it a little boost and so forth. It seems to have worked for them.
Okay. Um, Now, when you first started with the medication, um, like for me, I have, how do I want to put this? Do you have any misconceptions? Let me read it just like it's written here. What has
Okay.
been the biggest misconception you faced about using GLP-1s, and how do you respond to this?
The biggest misconception was, all these side effects because I've been very lucky and basically have had none. And People told me you're going to get extremely tired. Well, I was exercising before I started because
Uh
uh,
huh.
I had one of these crazy thoughts that if I ever needed surgery, the surgeon's going to come in and goes, "Hey, this fat person has a lot of muscle underneath that fat." So, so
Yeah.
like I've always been into exercising. So, you know,
Okay. So
I
you're more or
really
less
didn't feel that.
healthy when you started.
Well, I mean, I did
Set
have,
it up.
high cholesterol. I did have high blood pressure, a, a little bit of a fatty liver, that I found out when I had my chest CT, some things that are now cleared up. My liver function was on the blood work was a little bit high, and now everything's, normal. So,
That was my next question. What type of things did you have that cleared up for the Manjaro? So me, I have like the high blood pressure and things
mm-hmm,
like that. So I've heard and seen where it's helped a lot of people with
mm-hmm,
that type of benefits also.
right.
Right. Okay. What type of advice would you give to someone like myself who's thinking about starting, GLP-1, but is hesitant?
Just do it.
Just go ahead and do it. I heard you say
Yeah,
that on one of your videos.
just
Just do
just
it.
just try it. Just try it for a month.
Uh-huh.
What's the worst that could happen is you don't
Right,
do it anymore if it doesn't work for you.
right, right. And I see you interview a lot of people on your channel
Mm-hmm.
that are on GLP-1s and different weight loss journeys also, because I saw
Right.
one lady, she had lost like 300 pounds. I was
Yep.
really, really impressed with that. And it looks like, I guess she started off with diet and then she went to the
Mm-hmm.
injections also. And it seems like a lot of people go that way. They're struggling, I guess, like myself.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Get to a point. I've been on a plateau now for like 2.5 years. I call it a plateau because it's just up and down
Right.
with the
Mm-hmm.
same 15 to 20 pounds for that whole time. So I feel like if I go ahead and try the GLP-1, it would give me the boost that I need in
Right.
order to get out of that rut anyway.
Absolutely. It's but like the person that I interviewed, that's exactly, and she was so happy that she did because it got her back going again. Not to say that you'll never have a plateau on it, but it's again, there's things you could do like, changing your workout, changing your diet, increasing doses. There's, things to do if you
Okay.
do reach it.
I'm glad you said increasing doses. So I noticed that people start at the lower dose and I guess they
Right.
work their way up.
Right. The 2.5, and I'm talking tirzepatide because that's what I know. It's the same type of thing with Wegovy or Ozempic. You
Uh-huh.
start on the starter dose, which technically isn't even a therapeutic dose, but I lost plenty of weight. A lot of people lose weight on it. Some people stay on it for more than a month. My brother, who's on it, he doesn't have a lot to lose. That's pretty much all he takes is that starter dose. It gets your body used to it.
Uh-huh.
Um, so,
Okay.
because if you jump up to a high, start on a high dose, you are going to have side effects because you got to build it up slowly in your body to reduce the chances of side effects.
Okay. Okay. And what's the medication that they use in those pens? Well, that they're giving them. I thought I had read that somewhere what it's called.
Well,
Gluca
the
glucagon.
Well,
What?
glucagon, I mean, it's out, but it's not a weight loss. Right now, it's just for weight loss, it's just the Wegovy and the Zepbound. And they brand name comes in pen. Now, if you get it from one of their direct sites, which are cheaper, I
Uh-huh.
believe the Wegovy starts at 199 and goes to either 399 or 499. If you buy it from Eli Lilly Direct, I believe it's 499 and 5.99, something like that. And then they come in vials, and individual vials that you just draw up. The compound itself, if you get it from a compound company, they give you the whole month in a little vial, and they'll tell you, like, for example, your dose is 75 units, so you drop 75 units every week, and that's how it comes.
Okay. I was reading that it says that you have to where of course this is everywhere now, but it says to be careful of where you're buying your, I guess, medication from,
Hmm.
because I was on the internet yesterday and ad popped up like on Facebook or something and it said to get the medication for $49. Now I'm getting new on this, but I'm like, now no, I know
Right.
$49 is not what this costs. And if they advertise that, to me that seems like that's something fake, something somebody
Right.
shouldn't do.
And I'm not saying that it is, but if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Sometimes they do have that introduction price to get you going, and then if you read the fine print, you got to stay with them for 3 months, and it jumps up to a different price. Like I said, just do your research on if you're going to go the compound route on the pharmacies. Stick
Uh-huh.
with the bigger ones. There's um, Fridays, there's Mochi. I mean, there's a lot of big ones out there. There's Orderly Meds. Uh,
Okay. I
there's
think
stick with
something.
the big ones and do your homework.
Okay, okay. Because I did want to see that it said that they had fake companies that you could,
They do.
that was
That's why I
selling
said
it too. So that was kind of like,
do
wow.
your homework,
It,
because now that they're threatening to take it off of the market, all these, you know, people are trying to get in on scamming because people are getting desperate. Although deadlines have come and gone, and these companies are starting. As a matter of fact, some of the older compound companies that stopped are starting again. So they must know something that
right.
my personal opinion is that this whole thing with the compound isn't for these medications. It's for the next generation of GLP-1 medications coming out. They want to stop that from happening.
Oh, okay, okay. Now I did read something on the well, saw a video this morning on YouTube. I was looking through YouTube, but it
Mhm.
would had mentioned that the government or Trump had issued. They had said something about they're giving them 90 days to
Correct.
get these costs under control. Do you know about that?
Yes, he signed an executive order. I forgot the exact wording of it, but it's
Mhm.
like a favorite country thing, which
Right.
they could not charge more than what they charge to other in other countries.
Right.
Um, and again, he said that should take place soon. And now he's saying that he's giving him 90 days. I don't know if he alone could do that or if it would take
Right.
Congress, but it could at least get the Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk thinking about, hey, like maybe we ought to do something. We don't want tariffs, all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
And
And all
so
that.
it's at least getting the ball rolling and getting people to think about it. Because although I try to stay very much out of politics,
Right.
President Trump does not, want to be
Right.
misunderstood or proven wrong. So he may get the ball rolling on this. Yeah,
On that. Yeah. Yeah. I thought that that was good. And I saw that this morning. I said, oh,
absolutely.
there's something good right there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because to me, that medication is so expensive. Like, so when I talked to my doctor, then I was hoping that there was some kind of way that um, the way the nutritionist put it was because of some of my medical issues
Hmm.
that she may be able to get my insurance to cover it. But my insurance is Medicare. So it
Yeah, they're
sounds
not going
like
to cover.
Medicare is not going to do it either way.
Possibly if they call it Monjaro versus Zepbound, exact same medication.
Uh huh.
It's just what it's approved for is the only difference.
Right.
But it's hard. It's very hard unless you actually are type 2 diabetic. It's very hard.
Right. No, I'm not
And
that.
again, a lot of doctors do not want to recommend compounding because it's a little bit of a gray area. So again, my doctor wasn't too pleased that I did it, but it was happy that I'm doing something. So,
Right.
like, I just went through one of the online telehealth companies that use the
And found
pharmacies
one.
that are very reputable.
Okay. Um, what was the other thing? Was something else I had that I wanted to ask about that. Okay. I just had something. I had a question right there that I wanted to ask, and I lost it there for a minute. Let's see. Now, so the way I look at it is like, since it is such an expensive medication for myself, it would be an
Hmm.
investment in myself.
Right.
Is the way I look at it as far as purchasing that medication. Um, let's see, what other questions do I have? What type of things have you picked up, like from some of the others also that you have interviewed, as far as with their GLP ones? What are some of the, have any of them had issues with it, or what are
Uh,
some of
not
the really good
not
things?
really issues, but like I've learned from them different things because like sometimes I feel that I don't quite get enough fiber. So there are little fiber tricks that they use or
Hmm.
protein tricks because like I said. having such a so much of a smaller appetite, I need to make sure that I get nutrient dense food, and natural is always better. But there's just some days you just can't eat that much. So the little tricks on how to get extra, and I try to eat mainly seafood, um, some chicken. Uh, uh, Very rarely I'll have beef occasionally, but like little tricks on what kind of frozen food isn't as bad as others and so forth.
Right, right. Okay, okay. That's what I like to look at, different ways that people eat, because you can get a
Hmm.
lot of good
Absolutely.
information from that. You
Yeah,
really.
I've learned what they do in stalls and stuff like that, and one of the biggest, best tips that I got is because your body gets so used to your eating and certain meals, and so used to your exercise, is
Right.
it's called the person called it her hamburger theory. Like,
Uh-huh.
go out to a restaurant, get a cheeseburger and fries. You don't have to eat all the fries. You don't have to eat all the cheeseburger, but just give your body something different that it's not
Confusing.
used to. You don't have to go crazy and get the cheesecake with it and stuff like that, but just something you're not used to, and then go back the next day, and you'd be surprised, just because your body
Right,
gets so used to something.
right. And it adapts so well.
Yeah, the
It adapts so well to it.
metabolic adaptation it's real.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. I have learned about that, kind of like a reset. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And I've tried carb cycling, where you go like 2 days without basically any carbs, and 2 days with carbs, and then a day of fasting.
right.
And that was good. The fasting is hard because when I do work, I work 14 to 16-hour days,
Hmm.
and that was a little hard. So
Right, right,
sometimes I just kind of do an intermittent fast on that day, depending on my work schedule.
right. Now, you don't, do you use fasting now that you're taking the GLP-1?
Like I said, only like I don't want my body to get used to anything. I try to eat normal, but like when I see that it's kind of stuck, well,
Uh-huh.
a little different now because I'm in maintenance. I want it stuck. I want to be even. But
Right, right, right,
before it was like if I saw myself, I'm like, okay, let me again, for the metabolic adaptation, change things up, so that my body will go, wait, no carbs, no carbs, and oh, here's the carbs. It's okay. I
yeah.
can release this now. Yeah. Then what? No food, no food. Here's the food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it doesn't get.
Okay, okay, okay. That's a good way to put it. All right. Okay, let's see. What
It's a
other
tool. You
question?
have to use, your knowledge of your body, and eating better with it.
Right, right, and choosing the right foods and everything. Um, now, my nutritionist, he put me on a 1,200 calorie.
Hmm.
He told me to combine this with a 1,200 calorie diet. I know that I'm not going to be able to stick to 1,200 calories, so I'm going to get up it up to like something like 1,200 to 1,600 calories, as far as eating and stuff like that. Did I hear you say you like mostly eat seafood?
That's my
That's what you
preference.
like. Oh, okay, okay. I do. I like seafood. What do you think about the different? Okay, now myself now, because I'm in Oklahoma now. When I was in Washington State, it was a lot easier for me to get my seafood because I love the wild Alaskan salmon.
Hmm.
Here, that's very hard to get here, and a lot
Hmm.
of it's farm raised. I have eaten
No,
some farm raised, but I don't
yeah, I
prefer
don't prefer
full
that.
salmon. I think I've eaten it maybe about 3 times this year, but so I'm really missing the my salmon because it's just been hard to find.
You may have to go to frozen, if it's flash frozen.
Yeah, and I have done that with the fillets is just so little and
Hmm.
skinny. But yeah, you're right. I may have to look at
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
I
that.
live in South Florida, so seafood is abundant here.
Oh, yeah, it's abundant there. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It's very, very abundant where you're at. I've been getting more often to eating, I guess, more beef and then more
Hmm.
chicken. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Um, let's see. What have you had any difficulties for yourself as far as on your weight loss journey?
Not really. I mean, I think part of what made it easier is my wife is eating the same way, and she's a little bit heavier than I am now, but we were about the same weight. So like we eat the same diet. It's not like, we eat
You don't
different
have to
things,
cook
so
two
that
different
helps.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see. Mm. A lot of people they seem to think that using a GLP one is the easy way out of to weight loss.
It's a
What do you say
tool.
about
It's a
that?
tool. We still have to do the work. I know plenty of people that have done their journeys on the GLP-1 with, I'm not going to change my diet. I'm just going to eat a little bit less. Some have found a little success, some haven't. For example, one person that I work with, she did this, and she's still stuck with you know, her pizza, her fast food all the time. She did eat smaller portions, and in the 3 months that she was on it, I think she lost 3 or 4 pounds. I don't want a pound a month.
Uh
That's
huh.
so, and again, she's didn't learn anything, obviously, I mean,
From
and it's okay to eat that kind of food once in a while, but,
yeah, yeah,
if you're
yeah.
not gonna learn anything and you're gonna stop and you're gonna go right back to your ways, it's gonna come right back. You have to think of it as a whole lifestyle change. And
Right.
there comes the work, and, that's why it's not the easy way out. You know, if again, you would not go into a gym and see some really muscle guy that is probably using steroids and go up to him and say, "You don't need those steroids. Just work a little bit harder."
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's right. That's right. Okay. Let's see. I had a lot. Let me see if I can find another good question for you. That what type of exercises? The aerobic. I see some people that
right.
concentrate on aerobic, but then I see mostly everyone concentrating on the strength training
Yes.
that are doing the GLP-1.
Strength training is really good if you're worried about muscle loss. My routine is um, I do about 25 to 30 minutes of aerobic. And I used to do stair climber and treadmill. Then I had a stress fracture in my foot. So the doctor basically said, it's better if you could have something where your foot's strapped in. So I switched to the rowing machine because my foot
Mhm.
was, and I do that for about a half an hour. And I'm one of those crazy people that actually do that part of it in a sauna for,
Okay.
some
Oh, in the
extra work.
sauna. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, wow.
At Hot Works. So I
Uh
do
huh.
that, and then right next door is my
Get a good
gym,
sweat.
and then I do another, half hour to 45 minutes of weight training.
Uh
So
huh.
it's a little bit mixed up, and one day uh, I try to do it at least 3, if not 4 days a week. One day I'll do like total body. One day I'll concentrate more on legs. One day I'll concentrate on arms.
Okay.
Uh, the assisted pull-up machine is one of my favorites right now because I'm in a contest with some people over 50 to see which one of us could do the unassisted pull-up by themselves first.
Oh, okay. Okay. Challenges help, don't they?
Absolutely,
Different
all that kind of
challenges.
stuff helps. The more
Yeah.
support groups, your channel, my channel, other people's channel, all that support. That I think that's the biggest surprise that I found is how supportive this community is and how big of a help that they are uh, in this
Yes.
whole journey.
Yes.
We
Um,
all challenge each other.
right, right. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And
Hmm.
I noticed that there's a lot of support in the GLP-1 and also in the keto communities, but I noticed
Correct.
a lot of
Uh-huh.
support in the GLP-1 community. Especially to me, the GLP-1 community is new to me because
Hmm.
I just started really, learning more about the medication, how it works, the benefits of it. And so I see a lot of support in that community.
That's one reason why I started my interview series is because I know people want to see, everybody's journey is different. You want to
Right,
see somebody in a similar situation like you, how
right.
they deal with it. And again, you see how everybody's journey is a little bit different, but it's working for them. and you could get a little piece of this person's and this person and make it, part of your journey, and learn something. And
and all
that
of
was
that.
why I started.
That's right. Tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel. How long you've been on YouTube, and what made you go the route as far as
Right.
interviewing people to learn about the
Well,
GLP-1?
technically, I started it at the uh, end of December 2024,
Mhm.
but I didn't really start doing anything till January. And I wanted to put out like a video a day as much as I could. And I look back at some of those first ones were pretty awful, but
No.
learning it, wanting to keep me accountable, and like I said, hopefully, if it helps just one person, it's worth it. And again, just telling my experience, because there's not a lot of people on YouTube my age, but I know there's a lot of people on GLP-1s or thinking of that are my age, and it's good to have somebody like that to relate to. The ironic thing is that most of my viewers are from 34 to 45, so
Are they? Oh, okay.
according to the analytics. So it's like, who knew? But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Because, like you said, I've been noticing people that are our age
hmm
are a lot of ones that are on the GLP-1. So I kind of wonder.
hmm
I wonder if they're like me. They've been dieting almost all their life, and so finally they said, "Hey, I'm getting old now. Here's something that's probably
Uh-huh.
going to really work, and I'm
Absolutely.
going to give it a try." That's kind of how I
And it is, and for 99.9% of the people, it actually does work. I mean, there is that very small percentage of people that just don't respond to it.
right. Okay. So, what would you like to leave with everyone today as far as the GLP-1 medications? What progress looks like to you? How you have progressed? What they can expect?
Okay, if you're going to start, take pictures, videos, measurements, because you might think that you're not losing weight, but you're losing inches. And, I'm not going to say muscle weighs more than fat, because a pound of muscle and a pound of fat, the same thing. It's just different sizes. A
So,
pound of muscle like this and a pound of fat could be like that. So,
yeah, yeah,
as it gets redistributed, you may think that you're at a stall, but like I said, if you're losing inches, to me, that's a victory. Uh, just believe in the medication, let the medication do its job, help it along. You don't have to be perfect. Give yourself some grace if you're not, because again, this is a lifestyle. If you think you're going to be perfect your whole life, then, it's not going to happen. Then there's
that's
you
right.
have other issues if that's the case.
That's
Uh,
right.
don't be afraid to ask for help. There's support groups. Keep in touch with your physician or your nurse practitioner or who's ever prescribing you the medication, and just enjoy the journey.
Okay, okay. That's some great, great advice. Um, I have learned more today also about the new Jaro, the Wegovy.
hmm
Um, Let me see. Is there anything else that I want to ask? Um, I'm trying to think of because someone that called me this morning before and were asking me questions, and I told them I'm going to ask this on the
Okay.
live today.
All right. Keep in mind the new medications are coming out probably about a year from now, and they have an oral one called orforglipron,
Uh
which
huh.
you would take daily. Does not need refrigeration. It's not quite as effective as the injections by just a small percentage. But right now they're talking. Eli Lilly is even talking about pricing it around $200 for the month, which is very affordable. You don't have to have a full or empty stomach, it doesn't matter. And if you have a lot more weight to lose, about 6 months after that, retatrutide should be coming out, which is not only a GLP-1 and a GIP, which is what tirzepatide is also going to have glucagon in it. I don't know what the criteria that you'd have to meet to get that, but with all these new medications coming out, it can only help lower the prices of these, because these will be the old drugs. And everybody wants the shiny new penny. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Everybody jumps on board when something comes out new. Yes, they do. Okay, that's what it was called, the glucagon. What I was asking about
hmm
before too. Okay. I'm going to ask you back on again. I'd love to have you come back.
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely, and I'd love to join you on one of your lives.
Yes, that's what
So
I
that
want
way
you to do.
we could answer people's questions.
Right, because they have a lot. And
Unfortunately, I work on Saturday, so it would probably have to be on a Sunday,
okay.
or I'm also off like most Mondays and Tuesdays. But
Okay. I'll plan for it on a Sunday and we'll get
uh-huh.
together with that because they called and asked me questions, and I didn't write them down. I wrote down a couple, but I should have wrote
Hmm.
down everything as I was going along because I told them that I would make sure and ask. So I am going to be inviting you back very, very soon.
Absolutely, and I really like your theme song. It's great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
And
was jamming to it.
yeah, I saw you in the back. I said, "Oh, she's moving."
Keep
When I
moving.
heard
That's
it,
another tip. Keep moving.
yes, that's it. Keep moving. Keep moving. A body in motion stays in motion. That's what they say. And that's the
Absolutely.
truth. I said I'm
Yeah,
7. There's some mornings I can wake up so stiff, but once I start moving and exercising, I feel 100% better.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Lori, for joining
Oh,
me.
thank you for
All right.
having me, and look forward to our next collaboration.
Right. Okay. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye bye. Y'all, that was Lori. She has a wonderful channel. Make sure that you go over and check her channel out. And she's going to be joining me for a live. I'm going to make sure that I set that up because there are a lot of you out there that have a lot of questions about the GLP usage. And now I remember I meant to ask her about rotating sites. Somebody asked me about that. So we're going to set that live up for you, Lori. I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I learned a lot today from our collaboration, and I really, really enjoyed you. I'm going to put the link to her channel down below my live. Make sure that you go by and subscribe to her channel, follow her, and everybody have a great day. I'll be talking to you tomorrow on my next live. Bye bye.